What if one wrong step could send you into a place nobody has ever escaped from? Not another planet, not another universe, but an endless maze of empty yellow rooms where reality itself starts breaking apart. And the scariest part, something might already be waiting for you inside. This is Backrooms, and honestly, this might become one of the most terrifying horror movies we've seen in years. The craziest thing about this movie is that it didn't start as a Hollywood idea. It actually began from a single, creepy image posted anonymously online back in 2019. Just one photo of an empty yellow room with buzzing lights and stained carpets. And somehow, that image created an entire internet phenomenon. Over time, the Backrooms became one of the biggest creepypasta horror concepts ever, right alongside things like Slender Man and Siren Head. But unlike most internet horror stories, the Backrooms felt disturbingly believable, because deep down, almost everyone has experienced places that feel strangely wrong. An empty office hallway, a silent hotel corridor, a room that feels familiar, but somehow unsettling at the same time. And that's exactly what makes the Backrooms so terrifying. According to the lore, if you accidentally knock Lip out of reality, you fall into the Backrooms, an endless dimension made up of confusing hallways, abandoned rooms, flickering lights, damp carpets, and spaces that seem to misremember themselves. And once you're inside, there's no map, no exit, and no guarantee that you're alone. The new Backrooms movie is being directed by Kane Parsons, the same creator whose viral analog horror videos helped bring the Backrooms concept into the mainstream. And honestly, that might be the best thing about this entire project, because Kane Parsons already understands what makes the Backrooms scary. It's not just monsters, it's isolation, confusion, the feeling that reality itself is slowly falling apart around you. The official promo already gives off that exact energy. At first, the characters seemed curious and excited, almost like they're exploring something mysterious for fun. But very quickly, the tone changes. One line in particular stood out to me. All these places, buildings, rooms, misremembering themselves. That line perfectly explains the Backrooms experience. Nothing inside this place behaves normally. Rooms connect in impossible ways. Spaces shift unnaturally. Familiar environments become distorted nightmares. And visually, the movie already looks incredible. The analog horror VHS-style cinematography gives everything this raw, realistic feeling, almost like you're watching forbidden footage someone was never supposed to find. That's also why the original web series became so popular online. It didn't feel like a normal horror movie. It felt real. And honestly, modern horror movies rarely understand atmosphere anymore. Most of them rely too heavily on jump scares or loud sounds. But Backrooms feels different. The horror comes from tension, silence, the fear of getting lost forever inside a place that shouldn't even exist. And what's really crazy is how huge this concept has become. The Backrooms went from a random internet post to inspiring games, theories, YouTube breakdowns, and even shows like Severance. Now it's getting a full A24-style theatrical movie with actors like Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renata Reinsve attached to the project. That alone shows how powerful this idea became online. Another thing I love is how the movie seems to preserve the mystery of the Backrooms instead of over-explaining everything, because the unknown is what makes it terrifying. The less you understand this world, the scarier it becomes. And if the movie stays faithful to the analog horror style of Kane Parsons' original videos, this could honestly become one of the best psychological horror movies in years. Not because of gore, not because of cheap jump scares, but because it taps into a very specific fear most people never even realized they had. The fear of ending up somewhere that looks almost normal, but feels completely wrong. Overall, Backrooms already looks like a nightmare disguised as reality. And if this movie truly captures the same unsettling atmosphere as the original videos, then we might be looking at the next massive horror phenomenon. Because sometimes the scariest places aren't haunted houses or dark forests. Sometimes they're empty yellow rooms that never end. If you enjoyed this movie review and want to see more cinematic breakdowns and horror explanations like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel right now so you don't miss the next video.